Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our online Swadhyay Reading Retreat Labs. So we were continuing with our Art of SAP Gita Daily series. So SAP here doesn't mean that SAP ERP, which many of you are knowing it. So here SAP stands for Sambandha, Avidya, and Prayojan. So this is all three letters connected with Krishna, so that you can explore more in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, or you can ask more about it. So in that is inspiration, we will start with, we are continuing with the book number one, that is basically our Gita Daily Enrichment Series, Gita for Daily Enrichment Series by His Grace Chaitanya Charandas Prabhuji. And we are continuing with the first theme continuously. That is, first theme says going through life's reversals. And we have already covered. So whatever you are seeing in the green in the past, we have already covered. And today we are going to read the verse from chapter number 6, that is 6.32, and we will directly go to the basically the particular verse, and we will try to understand from there, right? So this is, let me read it out. Let's ask the verse, that is the chapter number 6, verse number 32. I will go to the Bhagavad Gita Vedabase, chapter number 6, verse number 32. It says, he is a perfect yogi by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna, right? So this is a verse, the translation of this particular verse, 6.32. Now we will be going to read the paragraph which is written by Prabhuji, and we will read it from here, right? So I would always recommend to read the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Already we have read it on all of the previous sessions. So now we are going to read it from Gita for Daily Enrichment Series. And it says the title, Retreat Within to Treat Without. Okay. So when external problems trouble us, we may feel that they need to be solved first. And so we cannot afford time for our inner life. Paradoxically, Gita wisdom suggests that we need our inner life the most during the such troubling times. Let's see why. The sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita states that the greatest yogis retreat deep within the innermost recesses of their hearts. There, they experience the highest happiness that comes by re-establishing their personal devotional connection with Krishna, the supreme reservoir of all happiness and the equal spiritual potential of all living beings as integral parts of the Supreme. 6.32. Such experiences convince them that everyone has the capacity and deserves the opportunity to release the sublime joy that they have released. Not only that, they recognize that this inner fulfillment is the greatest necessity of those facing outer turbulence. Why? Because they have understood through their personal experience that external stability is difficult to attain or sustain without internal serenity. That is why they urge us to retreat within, treat without. They recommend that we must stabilize and strengthen ourselves internally by relishing our personal connection with Krishna. Then we won't let our minds blow external problems out of proportion. Then, when we thus regain our sense of perspective, we will acquire the vision and the vigor to intellectually deal with external volatility. By this peaceful and thoughtful approach, we will be able to act effectively for restoring outer stability. Otherwise, our feverish and frantic responses will end making bad things worse. So we'll try to understand the meaning. What is the meaning of a feverish? Feverish is having or showing the symptoms of a fever. And similarly, the frantic means, you can see the meaning here, distraught with fear, anxiety, and other emotion, right? That's the meaning of it. You can highlight for our reference. future reference. Yeah, so this is the verse, the meaning, and more importantly, this experience of inner rejuvenation and outer restoration will help us realize a principle that will enable us to tackle similar future problems with much greater composure and grace. We can sustainably improve the outer material situation only when we first improve our inner spiritual connection. Composure means this is the state of feeling or being calm. We say calm and composed, right? And controlling oneself. Similarly, the meaning of a grace, we already know it, smoothness and elegance of movement, right? This is something. But here it is more of a, from a divinely given talent or blessing, we can say. It has a different meanings. Now we have to understand what is the context here. Now again, we will finish with the verse, the translation once again. Chapter number 6, verse number 32. He is perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. Okay. So we'll stop here, and tomorrow we will be going to start. So we have just completed the chapter number 6, verse number 32 here. So we'll mark to the green color. And in the next session, so we will be reading the next verse in this sequence, in this series, right? Now let's move on. So this is done. In tomorrow's session, we will be continuing we'll start with the Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, verse number 10, right? Why are we half trusting Krishna? So till then, Hare Krishna, Jagat Guru Singha.